The wind howled like a wild beast across the frozen plains. Thick snow blanketed everything, and the air was sharp enough to sting the skin. Cole Morgan, a human explorer, moved carefully across the icy surface. His boots crunched against the hard snow, and the low hum of his scanner echoed softly in the silence. He was alone on this remote planet, one not marked on most star charts. No cities, no signs of life, just endless ice and ancient silence. Cole wasn't just here for adventure. He was searching for alien ruins, old technology, artifacts, anything valuable or mysterious. It had been a week since he landed. Every day felt colder than the last. But today something changed. His scanner beeped, then flashed a signal. Life signature. Beneath the ground? Cole stopped. That couldn't be right. The planet's temperatures were far below freezing. Nothing could survive here, especially not alive. But the reading was strong, pulsing slowly. He adjusted his gloves and began digging through a thick layer of snow, revealing a slope into an old ice cave. The entrance was narrow. Cole crouched and moved inside. His suit lights lit the cavern walls, where ice shimmered like glass. Water had once flowed here, maybe thousands of years ago. As he moved deeper, he noticed the temperature rising. Not warm, but less deadly. Then, he saw it. In the center of a wide chamber, surrounded by blue crystal-like ice, stood a figure trapped inside. It wasn't just any alien. This one was tall, elegant, and dressed in a strange kind of armor fused with jewelry. Her eyes were closed. Her arms were gently crossed over her chest. Her face was calm, almost peaceful. The ice around her was too perfect, too clear. It was as if time had stopped. Cole stepped closer and whispered, "What are you?" He reached out and touched the ice. It was warm. Warm? That made no sense. His scanner buzzed again. Same life signal. Not dead, not robotic. Alive. Cole activated his translator and data reader. Symbols were carved into the surrounding walls, old alien writing. His systems tried to decode it, giving him a broken sentence. Royal. Guardian, sealed, until return. Danger. He stepped back, realizing what this might be. She wasn't just anyone. This was a queen, maybe even the last of her kind. Cole's thoughts raced. If this alien queen really was alive, should he wake her? What if she was dangerous, or what if she could never survive in this modern galaxy? Still, something about her felt different. Not like a threat, more like a mystery calling out for help. He sat beside the ice block, staring at her face. "You've been here a long time, haven't you?" he said softly. He activated his suit's heater and began scanning the structure. A hidden panel blinked to life near the base. It displayed strange energy levels, some kind of ancient stasis field. There was a warning in red lights. Stasis failing. Emergency wake sequence. Suggested. So, it wasn't just him deciding now. The ice had begun to lose power on its own. Cole hesitated but finally pressed the activation button. At first, nothing happened. Then the ice began to shift. Steam rose slowly. The surface cracked, piece by piece. A low hum echoed in the cavern. Lights inside the chamber turned from blue to white. The queen's armor began to glow faintly as her breathing returned. Slow, shallow, but real. Cole took a step back as the last layer of ice melted and water pooled around her feet. Her eyes suddenly opened. Bright, sharp, glowing with intelligence. The queen gasped and fell to her knees. Cole ran forward, catching her gently. "It's okay," he said. "You're safe." She looked at him, confused. Her mouth moved, but her words were not in any language he knew. He activated his translator again. After a few seconds, it began to catch simple words. "Where am I?" she asked, voice weak and rough from centuries of sleep. "You're on a frozen planet," Cole replied. "I found you in the ice." Her eyes studied his face, curious, cautious, and tired. "You not like mine. I'm human. I'm an explorer. She blinked slowly, then looked around at the chamber. I remember. Exile. Exile? Cole repeated, surprised. She nodded faintly. They betrayed me. Said I must sleep. Said I must wait. Are they gone? Cole didn't know how to answer. How long had she been here? Hundreds of years? More? I don't know, he admitted. But I'll help you. You're not alone anymore. Her eyes locked onto his. Again, there was a strange sadness behind them. Maybe loss. Maybe fear. She whispered one final word before losing consciousness again. Queen. Cole supported her gently and laid her on a thermal blanket from his pack. She was still breathing. Her body temperature was rising. She was alive. He sat beside her, staring into the empty cavern lit only by the faint lights of his suit. What have I just awakened? He whispered to himself. The ice cavern was silent again, but something had changed forever. A forgotten queen had returned. And the universe would soon remember her name. The fire inside the cave crackled softly. Cole sat near it, checking the temperature readings from his portable scanner. The alien queen, still weak, lay wrapped in thermal fabric beside the warmest part of the flame. She hadn't moved much since she fainted after waking, but her breathing was stronger now. Cole had cleared the melted water from the chamber earlier and sealed the cave's entrance with thermal shields to keep the cold outside. His supply pod had dropped nearby, which gave him access to food, light, and basic medical tools. Still, this situation was far beyond anything he had ever prepared for. He glanced at her again. She looked peaceful now, her pale blue skin glowing faintly under the firelight. Her facial features were delicate, but there was strength in her brow, in the way her eyes had focused earlier. The strange markings on her cheeks seemed to shimmer softly, almost like living tattoos. Suddenly she stirred. Cole quickly moved closer. Her eyes fluttered open again. This time she didn't panic. She just looked at him, quiet, alert. You're awake, he said gently. She blinked and for a moment seemed unsure of what to say. Still alive, she whispered, her voice weak but steady. Yes. Cole nodded. You're safe now. She sat up slowly, breathing deeply. Her eyes moved around the cavern as if searching for something. Then she looked at her hands and then back at Cole. You're human, she said, the translation device catching her words clearly this time. That's right. My name is Cole. I'm an explorer from Earth. She tilted her head slightly. Earth is far, very far. You've heard of it? Cole asked, surprised. Long ago, she said. Before my time in ice, there were rumors and of a world filled with fire-hearted beings. Cole gave a small smile. Sounds like us. She lowered her gaze for a moment. What year? Is it now? Cole paused. By Earth time, it's the year 2841. She didn't speak for a moment, then she closed her eyes. So long, so many cycles, she said. Cole didn't push her. He let her think. A few minutes passed. Then she looked at him again. I am Alara, she said, lifting her chin slightly. Queen of Valaria, or I was. Valaria, Cole repeated. That name isn't in any modern maps. She nodded. It was once a great world. My people ruled many systems, but a war and betrayal ended it. What happened? She looked down again. My council feared me. They believed my decisions were too bold. When I refused to destroy a weaker race, they turned against me. They said I was unfit to rule. They froze you. Cole said softly. Yes. Sealed in crystal. Until someone came. Cole couldn't believe it. A queen from a forgotten empire, punished for choosing mercy. I don't think they ever planned to wake me, she added. Cole leaned forward. But I did. She stared at him for a long moment. You didn't have to, she said. I know, he replied, but something told me I should. Maybe the galaxy needs someone like you again. Alara studied him, her eyes softened. Or maybe it needs someone like you. Suddenly, the cavern lights flickered. Cole's scanner beeped. A strange pulse echoed through the walls. Alara's head turned sharply. Do you hear that? Cole checked his scanner again. Something's powering up under us. She stood with effort, and Cole helped her. This place, she said, was not only a prison, it was also a vault. They buried my last command. Ship here, I remember now. A ship? Still buried? Cole's eyes widened. She nodded. It was placed beneath the ice, sealed away with me. Perhaps it still lives. Cole grabbed his tools and light gear. Then let's find it. Together, they followed the pulse deeper into the cave. The walls became smoother, more structured, clearly artificial. Lights appeared, ahead, faint but growing stronger. A massive doorway stood sealed in ice and stone. Alien symbols ran along the top. Alara placed her hand against it. Her palm glowed. The door hissed and slowly opened. Behind it, a vast underground hangar appeared. Dust and frost covered everything, but at the center of the space rested a magnificent ship. Sleek, silver, and beautiful even in its ancient silence. Theo, Virelia, Alara whispered. My crown jewel. Cole stepped inside, breath caught. It was unlike any human design, curved wings, glowing panels, and a strange blue crystal embedded at the front. He walked up to the ship and touched it. Lights sparked. A deep hum started. The ship was waking up. Alara approached a terminal on the side. She pressed a few symbols. Suddenly a faint voice came from within. Queen Alara. Identity confirmed. Welcome home. Tears welled in her eyes, but she blinked them away. I need to know, she said. If this ship still holds records, if anything remains of my people. Cole stood beside her. We'll find out together. But before she could reply, an alert flashed on the ship's console. Signal detected. External source. Unknown origin. Cole frowned. What does that mean? Alara's face grew serious. Someone, or something, has heard the ship awaken. She turned toward him. You didn't just wake me, Cole, you may have awakened a storm. The cold silence of the cavern was broken by a quiet, rhythmic hum. Lights inside the alien ship, Virelia, flickered to life one by one. Cole stepped back, watching in awe as systems that hadn't moved for centuries now came alive. The ship wasn't just a relic. It was waking up like a sleeping giant. Queen Alara stood near a glowing control panel. Her hand hovered over it. The soft blue light pulsed under her fingers as if recognizing her presence. It still responds to me, she whispered, her voice steady but filled with emotion. After all this time, it still remembers. Cole walked closer. Can it fly? Alara shook her head. Not yet. The main power core is frozen. I can sense it. Too weak. It needs a new energy source or a full recharge. Without that, we're grounded. Cole thought for a moment. I have portable generators in my supply pod. They're not meant for ships, but maybe they can give it enough energy to restart basic systems. Alara nodded. If we can activate the ship's heart crystal, it might reactivate the entire system. They left the hangar for a short time. Outside, the planet was still wrapped in snow and silence. The wind had calmed, and the stars above looked cold and distant. Cole guided Alara toward his small supply drop, about 2 kilometers away. It was a small metallic shelter, half buried in snow. He quickly gathered the power cells and thermal links while Alara stood nearby watching the sky. What is it? He asked. She pointed upward. I can feel it. Something out there has heard the signal. You mean the ship's activation? She nodded. Ancient systems like Virelia were designed to send out emergency pulses when awakened. It was a safety measure, but now, that signal could draw anyone. Anyone good? Cole asked. Alara turned to him. Good, or very bad. They hurried back to the cavern. Inside, the ship waited like a sleeping beast, glowing slightly in the dark. Cole connected the power cells carefully. Sparks jumped from the cables, and the crystal core inside the ship flickered. Then, it began to glow. A deep, warm light filled the chamber. The ship's engines let out a low hum. Panels across the surface of the ship opened. Screens lit up inside the cockpit. Core recharging, a voice said in an alien language. The translator clicked in. Partial power restored. Systems online. Alara placed her hand on the command panel again. A hologram appeared in the air. Maps, symbols, and a list of old data files. She spoke softly, commanding the ship to search for any records of her people. Cole watched as streams of symbols danced across the air. Minutes passed. Then a red warning appeared. Signal traced. Incoming vessel detected. Distance, 10,000 kilometers. Time to arrival, 2 hours. Cole frowned. We've got company. Alara's eyes narrowed. Scavengers, maybe worse. Can we hide the ship again? Cole asked. No. It's already visible from orbit, but we can prepare. Cole and Alara worked quickly. She instructed the ship to activate defense systems, shields, sensors, and internal security drones. Some systems were still too cold to function, but basic defenses returned online. Cole set up motion sensors and relayed warnings through his own comm system. His hands moved quickly, but his thoughts were racing. Whoever was coming, they might not be friendly. After some time, Alara approached him. You could leave, she said. You don't have to fight for me. Cole looked at her and smiled. I woke you up. I'm not walking away now. She stared at him for a moment longer, then nodded. Thank you, Cole. Together, they stood in the cavern, looking at the shining ship and the data that still poured from its core. One file opened. On its own, an old message from Alara's past. A recording. A young alien voice appeared. If this message is found, and our queen awakens, tell her that we waited, that we believed in her. Alara closed her eyes. She hadn't known if anyone had remained loyal, but even this small voice from the past gave her strength. Time passed. Then the sensors beeped. The enemy ship had entered the atmosphere. Cole activated the outer cameras. A black vessel sliced through the clouds like a blade. It hovered above the mountain, then slowly descended near the cavern's entrance. Alara stood tall, eyes fixed on the screen. They're here for the ship, she said. Or me. Let them come, Cole replied. They moved to the entrance. Cole took position behind a rock wall with a plasma rifle. Alara stood beside a control panel, ready to activate the ship's external defenses. The enemy ship opened. A group of armored aliens stepped out. Tall, sharp-looking, with red visors, and heavy weapons. Their leader in silver armor raised a scanner and pointed toward the cavern. Cole whispered, They know we're here. They always knew. Alara replied calmly, Let's show them we're not weak. The moment the intruders stepped, inside the tunnel, hidden turrets from the ship activated and fired warning blasts near their feet. The aliens scattered, surprised. Cole fired a warning shot near the tunnel entrance, and the enemies backed up. Then Alara stepped forward, her voice echoing through the cavern with power and confidence. You stand in the presence of Alara, rightful queen of Valeria. Leave now, or face the judgment of the stars. There was a pause. Then the enemy leader responded. You should have stayed frozen, queen. The galaxy has no place for you anymore. Alara's eyes narrowed. Then I will make a place. Suddenly, the Virelia roared behind them. The engines were online, the crystal core blazed. The ship itself sent out a final warning. Defensive mode activated. Missiles loaded. Drones hovered in the air. The enemy realized too late. They had walked into a trap. Cole grinned. Now it's our turn. The queen stepped beside him, calm and regal, and whispered, Together. And as the first shot was fired, the ice cavern lit up with the sound of ancient power, reborn through a human explorer and a queen who refused to be forgotten. The frozen cavern shook with the sound of explosions. Smoke rolled through the entrance and Cole quickly moved behind cover, checking his weapon. He took deep breaths to steady himself. It wasn't the first time he had been in danger, but this felt different. This time he was protecting more than his own life. He was protecting history. He was protecting Alera. Behind him, the queen stood tall beside the Viralia, her long hair falling over her shoulder, her armor now active and glowing softly with ancient patterns. The ship systems had finished their warm-up. The lights pulsed with energy, and her command console was alive with alerts and options. "They're testing our defenses," she said, scanning the enemy movements on a hologram. "They want to weaken us before rushing in." Cole crouched beside her. "I don't think they expected a queen and a human guarding an old starship." Alera gave a small smile. "No, they did not." Suddenly, a sharp blast hit the side of the cavern, shaking ice from the ceiling. Cole shielded his face. A drone flew past and returned fire, driving the enemies back for a moment. But more of them were arriving. They were determined. "We need a plan," Cole said. Alera stepped forward and placed her hand on the command crystal of the Viralia. The ship responded instantly, creating a large tactical map of the area. "They are trying to trap us inside the cave," she explained. "If we stay here, they'll eventually break through." "So we move?" Cole asked. Alera nodded. "We launch the ship, but the engines are still weak. We'll need to fight our way to the surface and defend the ship until it reaches full power." Cole looked at her. "Then let's do it. I'm with you." She paused, her eyes meeting his. "You are not of my people, Cole, yet you act like one." "I don't care about blood or planets," Cole said. "You needed help, and now so does the galaxy." Alera turned to a nearby chamber and opened a hidden compartment. Inside was a curved blade, beautiful and strange, glowing with blue energy. She took it, holding it with practiced ease. "I was trained as a queen to lead," she said quietly. "But today, I fight." Together they moved toward the front lines of the cave. Outside the cavern, the enemy commander paced with impatience. The black-armored soldiers had found it harder than expected to breach the ancient ice structure. The queen's defenses were too strong, and the human, he was clever. "This shouldn't be happening," the commander growled. His second-in-command pointed to the sky. "Sir, the ship, it's starting to power up." "Then we strike now," the commander said. "All units, move in." Inside, Cole and Alera reached the outer defense ring. The alien drones were fighting bravely, but were being overwhelmed. Cole fired carefully, hitting targets with precision. Alera moved like a warrior queen, her blade cutting through enemy armor like paper, her movements graceful and fierce. Cole had never seen anything like it. "You fight like you never slept," he said as they stood back to back, breathing hard. "I never truly rested," she replied. "My spirit waited." An explosion shook the chamber and part of the ice wall collapsed. The enemy rushed forward, but Alera raised her hand and shouted a command. A wave of blue energy burst from the ship, creating a shield that pushed the invaders back. "The Viralia listens only to me," she said. "This is still my kingdom." But the power pulse had a cost. The ship's energy dropped again and a warning flashed on the console. "Power reserves low. Launch delay, 15 minutes. "They're not going to give us 15 minutes, Cole said. "Then we hold them off for 15 minutes. Alera replied without hesitation. Cole nodded. "Let's hold the line." The next minutes were intense. The enemy pushed hard, sending wave after wave through the narrow paths into the cavern. Cole used every trick he knew, timed grenades, collapsing side tunnels, and guiding drones to block flanks. Alera fought with focused fury, commanding the ship's remaining weapons and protecting Cole when he was exposed. Her voice became stronger with every order. Her presence lit the cavern like a beacon of hope. It wasn't just a battle, it was a queen reclaiming her right to rule. Then came the moment of silence. The last group of enemies fell back, their numbers reduced, their leader wounded. The ship's systems finally spoke. "Power at full, launch ready." Cole turned to Alera. "It's time?" She nodded and led him aboard the Viralia. As they entered the bridge, the seats adjusted to fit both of them. One for a queen, one for an honored guest. Are you sure you're ready for this? Cole asked. I was born for this, she said. The ship rose from the cavern floor. Ice cracked and broke as the engines lifted it upward through the tunnel. Snow and rock fell around them, but the shields held. Outside, the enemy ship tried to block their path. Alara raised her hand. No more hiding. She activated the main cannon. A bright beam shot from the Virelia, slicing through the enemy vessel. It exploded in a wave of fire and smoke. The queen looked out at the stars. Let the galaxy see I have returned. Cole sat beside her, watching the world fall behind them. What now? He asked. We search, she replied. For those who still remember. For those who still believe. And me? Cole asked. She turned to him, her voice gentle. You stay. You are part of this now. The ship moved into the sky, leaving, behind the ice, the cave, and the past. Ahead of them, stars, stories, and a future yet to be written. Stars stretched out endlessly beyond the curved glass of the Virelia's bridge. Cole had never seen such a clear view of space. The ship moved smoothly, like a giant bird gliding through the night sky. There was no shaking, no engine noise, just a steady hum from the crystal core and the quiet clicks of navigation. Queen Alara stood near the central console. Her eyes scanned the map glowing before her. Systems, signals, star paths. She was studying everything, but Cole noticed something else in her gaze. Pain. Quiet, hidden pain. He walked up beside her. You okay? She didn't answer at first. Then she said, So much has changed. My world is gone. My people may be gone. I have no kingdom to return to. Cole looked at the stars too. Maybe your kingdom isn't a place anymore. Maybe it's something you rebuild. She turned toward him. With what? I don't even know who's left. He thought for a moment. Then he said, Then let's find out. Alara looked at him closely. Why do you care so much? You don't owe me anything. You were alone, Cole replied, and I know how that feels. But more than that, you stood for something. Even when they betrayed you, you didn't choose hate. You chose peace. Alara lowered her eyes. And they punished me for it. But now you're free, Cole said. And that means you can choose again. For a moment, silence filled the ship. The stars kept shining. Then Alara raised her hand and touched the ship's command crystal. Virelia, search for loyal signals. Scan all known frequencies from Valerian technology. The ship responded. Scanning. Results in progress. Cole leaned on the railing. Do you think anyone's still out there? I don't know, she whispered. But I must believe. If even one remain, then I still have a duty. Suddenly the ship's systems blinked. Signal detected. Valerian origin. Code, Royal Protocol. Location, System K09. Alara gasped. That's real. That's a royal beacon. Could it be a trap? Cole asked. It could, she admitted. But it's the only sign I've had in centuries. Then we go, Cole said firmly. We go together. She gave him a small smile. Thank you, Cole. They traveled. For several hours through quiet space. The ship's AI followed the path with ease. As they neared System K09, they noticed signs of debris in space. Broken ships, shattered satellites, pieces of a battle long ago. Looks like someone tried to defend this place, Cole said. Alara nodded. This must have been one of our hidden outposts. The signal grew stronger as they entered orbit around a small moon. Alara activated the ship's scanner and found a single underground bunker beneath the surface. Life signs detected. The ship confirmed. Let's go, she said. They landed carefully and stepped out into a quiet, dark hall, lit only by emergency lights. The air smelled of old metal and dust. Cole held a small scanner, checking for threats. Alara walked ahead, her head high. They moved deeper into the bunker until they reached a heavy door. Alara touched the panel beside it, and the door slid open, slowly. Inside stood a group of 6 aliens, tired, thin, but armed. Their weapons rose instantly, aimed at Cole and Alara. Wait, Alara said quickly, raising her hand. One of the aliens, a tall female with gray skin and sharp eyes, stepped forward. "Queen Alara?" she whispered. Alara stepped into the light. "Yes, it's me." The soldiers slowly lowered their weapons. One of them dropped to his knees. Another covered his face with shaking hands. "You returned," the tall female said. "I was frozen," Alara said. "They hid me and I only woke recently. This human found me, helped me." The woman looked at Cole and nodded with respect. "We never stopped believing," she said. "We kept the signal alive for hundreds of years. We hoped, every day, that you might come back." Tears formed in Alara's eyes, but she didn't let them fall. "You were loyal," she said, "even when the galaxy forgot me." They brought her and Cole into a control room. There, old maps, journals, and recordings showed other possible locations, places where more survivors might be hiding. "There may be dozens still alive," one soldier said, "scattered, hiding, waiting." Alara took a deep breath. "Then we find them. We bring them together, and we start again." Over the next few days, Alara and Cole traveled from system to system, following clues and signals. Slowly, they began to gather people. Old captains, engineers, healers, teachers. Some didn't believe it was really her at first. Others wept openly when they saw her. Cole helped every step of the way, repairing old comms, linking signals, calming fears. Alara watched him closely. Though he wasn't one of her kind, he had become her strength. One evening aboard the Virilaya, Alara stood on the observation deck. Cole joined her quietly. She spoke without turning. "I thought I would wake to nothing, that I would be a ghost." "But you're not," Cole said. "You're hope." She turned to him. "You gave me that." They stood in silence for a moment. Then Alara said, "You could leave now. Go home." Cole shook his head. "Home is where you choose to build something. I think I've found mine." She smiled, softly, sincerely. "Then stay," she said. "Help me lead, not as a servant, but as a partner." Cole looked into her eyes. "Always." In time, the Queen's new alliance began to grow. Ships were repaired. Old beacons were relit. People who thought their queen was dead learned she had returned, stronger, wiser, and with a human by her side. Alara stood before her new council one day and said, "We once ruled by strength. We now lead with unity. A new age begins, not just for Valeria, but for every world ready to believe again." And by her side, Cole stood quietly, not as a warrior, not as a king, but as the human who saw something beautiful buried in the ice and chose to bring it back to life.